taught the mystic arts of war.
Sai.
He has mastered 1,000 years of secrets. He has learned the way of the ninja. Now, a soldier on a suicide mission. They have been sent to paradise.
Excuse me, man. Wow.
To defeat a conspiracy that threatens the entire world.
Who set me up? I said who?
The lion!
Who's the lion?
He's a millionaire. He made his money on drugs. He's doing research.
Super ninja. The ultimate fighting machine.
Like a predatory tiger, will feel no pain
Miracles.
and know no emotion but hate.
It's ninja against ninja.
Tommy, it's ours!
Together, they must destroy the most powerful criminal empire the world has ever known. He must defeat the most lethal assassin alive, and they must not fail. Michael Dudikoff returns as the American Ninja with Steve James in American Ninja 2: The Confrontation.
American Ninja 2: The Confrontation is the sequel to American Ninja that was released on May 1st, 1987. I've already reviewed the first one, so I might as well review the sequel. Also, this is the only one of the sequels to have Michael Dudikoff and Steve James reprise their roles. Well, actually, Michael Dudikoff did return for American Ninja 4, but that one was pretty bad from what I've heard. Anyway, is American Ninja 2 good? Well, let's find out by starting with the story. This time, Joe Armstrong and Jackson go to a remote island in the Caribbean to investigate the disappearance of several Marines. This leads Joe to discover a man named the Lion, who is a drug dealer who kidnaps a scientist and convinces him to produce an army of mutant ninja warriors. Overall, this is a pretty fucking good story. It is one of those sequels that has a couple of downgrades, but still manages to have the same spirit as the original. It is kind of like Transporter 2 for me. I like how it carries over some of the twists and turns of the first movie. The main person holding the army back from engaging with the Lion is the governor of the island. That is not only really fucking compelling, it does carry over some of the political/authority corruption angle from that the first movie had. I also really like the scene where Joe interrogates a man who supposedly knows about the Lion. The man tells you all the information I explained in describing the story, but also says the Lion has his wife. But what happens later is that he gets killed by an arrow. That is some pretty dark and intense shit. I will say, when the movie is trying to be serious, the writing and the dialogue is really good and compelling. When it's trying to be funny, it is actually not all that good, and kind of fucking annoying, to be honest. That's not to say there are no good jokes. I like the parts in the beginning where the men are ogling the women on the island, and Joe even smiles at it. I also like how it is implied that they get totally naked, and Jackson says that he's gonna like the island, after saying he was gonna hate it. I also like how Jackson is really enjoying himself while fucking fighting in the bar. But that's about it. I don't mind that there's more humor in this movie compared to the first one, but I just think most of the jokes are not that funny. Jackson has a pretty fucking lame pickup line to lure to, that he uses toward a local girl that somehow works. But even then, we hardly see them together, which actually may be good or bad depending on how you look at it. So to answer the question, how satisfying is the romance in this movie? It is better, but not by much. We actually spend more time with Joe and Alicia, who is the daughter of the scientist, than we do with Jackson and his girlfriend. But the relationship between Joe and Alicia is not really romantic. I'm actually okay with this because it is pretty similar to how the first movie handles romance. It is under the mentality that love is not necessary to live a fulfilled life. The only other complaint that I have with this movie is kind of a nitpick. It shows a clip of Joe's sensei telling him about the ninja stuff from the first movie, even though it really didn't need to and would probably confuse those who haven't seen the first movie. But that's the thing that bothers me the least. I will say the last half of the movie is when the writing is at its best. Overall, it's a pretty damn good story, even if the first one is stronger in some ways. The action scenes are also pretty fucking awesome. There's a lot of fight scenes and use of katanas and other ninja weapons. But in the climax, you also got guns and explosions to keep you invigorated. In some ways, it is better than the first movie because there are more action scenes, but in other ways, it is weaker because I prefer the climax of the first movie a little more. But the climax in this one is still pretty damn good. As for the production values, the cinematography, editing, sound, and sets are all pretty good for a low-budget movie. I don't really have any complaints. The music is a bit weaker than the first movie, but I do like the use of synthesizers and the steel pan to reflect the exotic island setting, even if it's not very memorable. I will say the music toward the end of the movie is at its best. Overall, American Ninja 2: The Confrontation is a pretty good sequel. It has both things that it does better than the first movie and things it does worse. But ultimately, the good outweighs the bad. It delivers the story, spirit, and action scenes that made the first movie so enjoyable. I will say the biggest problem I have with this movie is the humor kind of sucks. But this is still one hell of a fun movie that I would recommend if you like the first movie. I give American Ninja 2: The Confrontation 4 out of 5 stars with the title of Awesome. Anyway, I'm Spike Robot. If you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel, and feel free to support me on Patreon and follow me on Instagram. If you support me on Patreon, you get exclusive updates on my next video. And if you follow me on Instagram, you can see all the pictures I took in Venice, Italy, so go check those out if you really want. Take it easy. On the Freedom Chain goes.
Free for what we believe.